नमस्कार, मंथन कार्यावळीन तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार. ह्या कार्यावळींतल्यान आमी तुमच्या मुखार दवरता वेगवेगळ्या विशयांचेर चर्चा आनी आमचो आयचो टॉपिक आसा सोलर पावर. ह्या विशयाचेर चर्चा करपाक आमच्या बरोबर आसात इंजिनियर भारत कामत, ते इंडियन ग्रीन बिल्डिंग कावन्सिल्स गोवा चॅप्टराचे चेअरमॅन. तशेंच आमच्या बरोबर आसात दिलीप नायक, ते रेनबो सोलर पावर सोल्युशनचे CEO. तुमकां दोगांकूय आमच्या कार्यावळीन येवकार.
नमस्कार.
जेन्ना आमी सोलर पावर म्हणटा म्हज्या सारकिल्या मनशा खातीर फक्त दिसता ते सोलर पॅनल्स घातिले आसता ते आनी सोलर वॉटर हिटर. दिलीप बाब, सोलर पावर म्हणजे एक्झॅक्टली कितें आनी ते कशें पावर जनरेट करतात?
व्हेरी गुड. हो आतां एक्चुअली कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सोलर पावर जनरेशन जो आसा न्ही, आमी इन अवर स्कूल डेज ऑर कॉलेज डेज वी हॅव लर्न समथींग इन फिजिक्स कॉल्ड एज photo electric effect. When the sunlight falls on the panels, the panels are nothing but semiconductors. They directly generate electricity and that is in the form of a DC. So DC ji electricity asa, we cannot use it in our appliances. So we need to convert it into AC, that is alternating current. So आम्ही किती करतात, we put a solar inverter which converts DC into AC electricity. That is then connected to your appliances and it also goes to the grid. Now there are three types of solar power generation plants what one can install. One is the on-grid solar power plant wherein तुम्ही प्लांट घालतात आणि ताजो जनरेशन जे असता ते ग्रिडाक कनेक्ट केल्लें असता. सो आमी कितें करतात, मेन मिटर जो असता तो मेन मिटर काडटात आणि त्या जाग्यार आमी एक बाय डायरेक्शनल मिटर घालतात विच इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज नेट मिटर विच हॅज गॉट अ एक्सपोर्ट एंड इम्पोर्ट फॅसिलिटी. सो वॉट एवर इज जनरेटेड that generation of electricity goes to the grid and whatever you are using you are importing from the grid. So the net effect jo asta that is reflected in your bill that you have to pay as a net bill. If your export is more and then the import, you naturally get a negative bill or don't have to pay the bill for lifetime. But if your import is more than the export, that means the plant capacity is slightly lesser than what is your requirement. आता as per the solar policy आमकां कितें आसता, प्रत्येक एक गायडलायन्स दिल्ले असतात from MNRE and the Goa Electricity Board that we can install a plant only up to the sanction load of the house or a commercial establishment. The sanction load is reflected on the bill. So if the sanction load is say 10 kilowatt, you can put up to 10 kilowatt, you cannot cross it. If you put more than 10, it will not be approved by the department. So once you have this put in place, you can have zero bills for lifetime. This is the on-grid. Now the second type of system is also called as off-grid system. In off-grid system, there is no connection of generation of electricity to the grid, but it is a standalone system. It is directly connected to the batteries. You can save power in the batteries and you can use it. You are independent. It's a standalone system. Now the third is the hybrid type of system wherein you can have connection to the on-grid also and also you can have battery backup. So at times, if the electricity fails, generally when the electricity fails, your solar power also fails because there are safety norms. Because once this grid fails, your inverter has to cut off the generation. Otherwise, what is going to happen is somebody working on the maintenance, he may get electrocuted. So in hybrid, what happens, even if the grid fails, you are not in dark. You are given backup by the battery. But hybrid becomes not feasible. The cost of the inverter of the hybrid is 3 times the on-grid inverter. So these are the three systems what we have in the state of Goa.
भारत सर, यू आर इन टू ग्रीन बिल्डिंग्स. आता युजली आम्ही जेन्ना ग्रीन बिल्डिंग्स म्हणटा पणजेकारां खातीर देर इज वन ब्लॅक बिल्डिंग विच इज पेंटेड ब्लॅक. सो वॉट इज ग्रीन बिल्डिंग्स? इज इट पेंटेड green or there are plants on it or what is it exactly?
See, a green building is a building which uses less water.
Okay.
It enhances your energy efficiency, conserves natural resources and generates less waste. So when you look at one part is the material part, second part is it enhances the occupants' comfort in a building. So these are the benefits of a green building over a conventional building. Now when we talk of generating less water or energy efficiency, these are things which are operational. These get operational benefits to the consumer. Means light कमी वापरली जाल्यार bill कमी येता, उदक कमी वापरल्यार bill कमी येता. So green building is one step ahead of a normal building where there is a lot of savings during the operations of a building. So greenhouse gas emissions, which are the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, air pollution, these are reduced in a green building. So ultimately, climate change, which is happening today, global warming, which is happening, the first point which we can tackle is a building or a home. If we reduce energy consumption in a building, we are reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So green building is one step towards reducing global warming or climate change.
डिफरन्स कितें आसता आमचे रेग्युलर बिल्डिंग आनी ग्रीन बिल्डिंग जे तुमी स्ट्रक्चर्स डिझायन करता तातूंत डिफरन्स कितें आसता?
See, the building per se is the same. The choice of materials varies. आता आम्ही चिरे वापरता. चिरे is a green building, green material because chiro is a natural material. पण can we use chiro unlimited? Chiro is mining. You mine, खणचे पडटा, चिरो काडचो पडटा. Can we do unlimited mining today? No. So we come in with smart materials. What are smart materials? Smart materials would be with reusing slag. Okay. Slag is a waste product. So we have fly ash bricks. We also have lightweight walls, which are AAC blocks. We also have paneled walls. Paneled walls means मधी framework असता आणि ताकून दोन्ही साइडीक cement board लायिल्ले असता. So we have got paneled walls. So we are moving into an era of smart materials. We would use, instead of using taps, earlier we used to use taps which were high flow. Today we get taps which are very low flow fixtures. आता आम्ही 5-star हॉटेलांनी वता चालू टॅप करतकूच foam सो येता. So that is reducing your water consumption by 30 to 40%. So the choice of materials which we use in a green building are different. आता पयलीं आमी घरान बल्ब वापरताले. हांव नको कोणे आतांच्या भुरग्यांनी बल्ब सुद्दां पळोवन आसतलो आमचे ते बल्ब लायताले. आतां आमकां LED बल्ब्स मेळटा. LED बल्ब्स गिव्स अस a lot of light for the same wattage. So wattage जेन्ना कमी जाता, वॉट्स केन्ना कमी वापरता, तेन्ना energy consumption is reduced. So green buildings is now teaching us to use newer and newer materials. आता आम्ही पळयला की when we go to a toilet पयलीं आमी ते 15 लिटराचे टाक्यो आसताल्यो फ्लश सिस्टम एंड ऑल. Today we get low flow fixtures. So dual button असता फ्लशाचे. So 3 liters, 6 liters. Shower heads सुद्धा कमी water use करतात. So all in all we are moving towards an era of consumption and moving towards an era of low energy saving or water saving.
Okay.
And smart buildings म्हणून आता येतात. Smart buildings is another way of you consuming less. So the next era of buildings is going to be smart buildings. So we have to transition fast because today we don't have a cushion where we have to start moving towards the what do you call it? We have to arrest global warming and move back towards a normal routine where we used to enjoy our life with less pollution, less heat, less everything, and this is where green buildings is going to come in a large way.
आम्ही आता आमच्या गोंया सारकेल्या राज्यान आता सकाळच्यान आमी पळयतात दमट वातावरण आसा आणि सोलर पावर जर आमी जनरेट करतले जाल्यार अशें म्हणटात की खूब वत जाय, खूब सनलायट जाय. सो गोंयान 4 म्हयने मॉन्सून आसता. अशा टायमार हे सोलर जनरेशन प्लांट गोंयान चलू शकता काय कशें कितें?
Actually, if you see, I will tell you an example of the country called as Germany. Germany has got a very limited sunlight. Okay. But the way they have gone for solarization, left, right, center, they have gone. I am not comparing Germany with India. Germany I am comparing with Goa. Goa has got out of 365 days, 260 sunny days. The balance number of days also, पहिली भशेन आतां कितें तो 4 दीस पावस फुल पडना. थोडे पडलो जाल्यार पासून एक 3 वरां पासून दिसाचो ब्रायट सन आसता. You can generate. Definitely you can generate. And today's the technology has evolved. The panels are so efficient, it can generate electricity. And over a period, in our calculations for all practical purposes, we assume 4.5 sun peak hours throughout 365 days, averaged. So some sunny days, summer you can get 7 hours. Overall winter थोडी कमी मातशे पावसांक 3 वरां अशें करून ते 4.5 is the average for 365 days. मातशें दमट जालें म्हणून कांयच there is no issue. And the system is such, the moment it drops below the generating point, it directly goes to the grid. You know, your electricity goes to the grid. When the sun, it goes back to in the fraction of milliseconds.
Okay.
You know, that is one part of it. आणि गोंयाक खूब स्कोप आसा for going for solar. Goa is really one of the best states in the country wherein you can go for solar. I will add a bit more than this. आम्ही गोवा दमन एंड दीव पहिले आशिल्ले. Now Daman and Diu are Union territories. You take an example of Diu. It's a small place in the outskirts of Gujarat. You know, they produce solar energy so much. They are exporting 5 megawatts of solar power to Gujarat, to a bigger state. So and it is run by the administrator. And for last 60 years, post liberation, we have never thought out of the box to go for producing a single unit of electricity. It's a pathetic state. I would say that. We should have thought about it. At least solarization you can do. Today, so much of barren land is available in the panchayats and communidad. We can explore possibilities of going for solar on a mega scale.
Correct.
Now, many things will fall in place. And yes, Goa has to take up a lead. MNRE had given guidelines to all the states, and Goa was given 150 megawatts generation from 15 to 22. We are in 23 today. 7 years have already crossed, and we have produced only 46 megawatts of generation of electricity through solar. In 2015, before the new Narendra Modi government took over, before that there was a plan for 12 years by the earlier government that they were supposed to produce just 20 gigawatt of power. That has enhanced to 160 megawatts of power. Gigawatts of power in the last 8 years. You know, out of which we have already touched 70% is done.
Okay.
So India's solarization plan is number 1 in the world, you can say. I am only speaking of as far as Goa is concerned, we are just lagging behind. And there is a need of incentivizing these schemes for people to go for solar. No?
सोलरा खातीर लोक वचपाक म्हणजे फाटी फुडें जाता खुबश्या वेळा स्पेशली इफ वी हॅव टू कन्सिडर हावज होल्ड्स न्ही बिकॉज इनिशियल जो कॉस्ट आसा इन्वेस्टमेंट जे इनिशियल आसा ते सम खूब ह्यूज आसता सो ताका लागून खंय कितें लोक फाटी फुडें जाता
आतां कितें आसा पयलीं गव्हर्मेंटाची एक स्कीम आशिल्ली वेर इन सबसिडी स्कीम नाव वी आर इन फेज 2. In phase 1 there was a scheme where you invest the money, put a solar plant, and you will get after 6-7 months a subsidy which was 50% of the benchmark cost decided by MNRE.
Okay.
So you actually recover about 30% of the investment in one shot. This to happen. It has to happen. I am also one of the beneficiaries which I had put on my house. Now in phase 2 what they do, out of this 50% benchmark cost subsidy what is supposed to be given to the prosumer. I am using the word prosumer, no consumer. A person who installs the solar is called as prosumer because he produces and he consumes also. It's called as prosumer. Now in the phase 2, what government has decided is a very good thing that the 50% subsidy what is supposed to pay to you, out of this 50%, almost 50% you are given upfront before you put the plant.
Okay.
So your investment, the project cost directly upfront subsidy minus kar that much amount you have to invest, and after 6 months again the balance you get it. So it's a win-win situation. One. Number 2, whatever extra you are generating and exporting to grid, government pays you 3 rupees 17 paisa per unit.
Okay.
And that money comes to your account lifetime.
As far as you're producing the
As long as you are producing
the energy.
In a particular cycle, 5 months, 6 months, that decided by the election department. Okay. But it comes by default to your account. And we have made such a beautiful system. State government has made such a beautiful system. You don't have to move an inch. You know, your check details are taken, Aadhaar card is taken, it's linked to the system. Money directly reflects in your account. You will get a SMS that so much money has come. Same with the subsidy. That way we are really good. I'm telling you, the infrastructure required, administrative infrastructure required is done. Now, what we need to do is we have to promote more and more projects. And for that, people are to be educated because many Goans really don't know about this solar plant. That's why I am trying to explain this. So people go for it. And there is a saying, make hay while the sun shines. My company's punchline is make hay while the sun shines. So before government withdraws the subsidy, please go for it and enjoy the subsidy because we cannot say very suddenly it may be withdrawn because it has happened in electric vehicles.
Correct.
People have it been withdrawn, but now I'm sure our Honorable Chief Minister is going to have a plan of
Plan of
restarting that
action.
also. That's what.
इतल्यो सबसिडीज आसा आनी तुमी डिझायन करता बिल्डिंग्स रिड्युसिंग द कन्झम्पशन बट डू यू इनकॉर्पोरेट की जे जनरेशन आसा लायक सोलर पॅनल्स घालून डिझायन करता बिल्डिंग्स
कितें आसता लोकांचे आतां रेजिडेंशियल बिल्डिंग्स आसता पळय रेजिडेंशियल बिल्डिंग्स जनरली पीपल डोंट गो इन फॉर सोलर पीपल डोंट गो इन फॉर रिन्युएबल एनर्जी पूण जेन्ना आमी व्हडल्यो बिल्डिंग्यो पळयता कमर्शियल बिल्डिंग्स वेन वी लूक एट IT पार्क्स where the consumption of energy is huge, that is where people go in for renewable energy. One small example I'll give is our own IGBC headquarters, the Indian Green Building Council's headquarters at Hyderabad. Initially, the building was designed with a green rooftop, so there were plants on the roof and all. Somewhere 5-6 years back, the green rooftop was removed, painted with reflective, high solar reflective index paint. So white paint mallo, and we at IGBC installed bi-directional solar photovoltaic cells. So kids the reflected the incident sunlight creates energy as well as the reflected light. It was also generating solar energy.
Okay.
So both ways we were generating solar energy, and IGBC headquarters today is a net positive building. We have got more power than what we actually use in the building.
Okay.
So commercial buildings are moving towards solar energy in a large way. आणि लोक म्हणटात एक्सपेन्सिव तो जनरली कितें आसता तो व्हडलो मनीस एक येता 50 लाखाची गाडयेन येता आनी 20 लाख जायना म्हणटा घालपाक सोलर प्लांटान इट डजंट मेक सेन्स लायट एनर्जी ना जाल्यार करप कितें फॅक्टरी बंद करप
In fact,
So लोक
I will add one thing what Bharat has said. What he has said is very true. People who do not know S of solar energy, they give sermons on solar energy that it is not feasible and all. So when you are being followed by thousands of people and you make such statement, it
the society
so the society adopts your thing. This man is saying that should not be like that. You must have domain knowledge of the subject what you are speaking.
Exactly.
And otherwise, what happens? The people will follow you, and whatever they'll demotivate to go for solar. So
And
this kind of attitude should be curbed. I agree to him.
See, negativity, we cannot be negative about solar. कारण आमचो प्रधानमंत्री is the leader about solar in the world.
In the world.
Our prime minister speaks about solar. आणि हांगा आमचे लोक म्हणटा सोलर इज एक्सपेन्सिव मागीर प्रधानमंत्री कित्याक उलयता प्रधानमंत्रीन इतलो लीड घेतला इवन द युनायटेड नेशन्स हॅज स्पोकन अबाउट आर सोलर पॉलिसीज इन इंडिया सो प्रधानमंत्री उलयतात वी हॅव टू एडॉप्ट वॉट द प्रायम मिनिस्टर सेज नॉट स्पीक नेगेटिव्ह अबाउट थिंग्स वेन वी डोंट हॅव डोमेन नॉलेज ऑफ इट
करेक्ट
आता IT पार्क्स कमर्शियल बिल्डिंग्स everybody is moving towards renewable energy.
आम्ही आता
I will
गोंयांत-
give one
Yes,
simple
sir.
example. Now there is a solar panel which has got a size of 2 meter by 1 meter. You know, 15 years back, sir, this solar panel was just producing less than 75 watts of power. Today, the same panel producing 600 watts. So you just see how technology has improved. 15 years back, yes, it was not feasible. And this mindset, who are speaking about it, they're still 15 years back. You know, they have to upgrade themselves. They have to adopt what is happening yesterday. You know, there's a difference yesterday and today in the technology aspect of it. Technology evolves over a period of time. Huge amount of R&D is going on in solar technology. And India, I'll tell you, Narendra Bhai Modi has taken it as a mission of solarizing our country. In next, you take it from me, another next 10 years, we will be able to achieve huge amount of electricity and the unit cost will substantially reduce.
Completely.
In Goa, the problem in Goa is that Goa does not produce a single unit of electricity. But we are the cheapest in the country. No further, I will not make any further comment. The reasons best known to all.
ॲक्च्युली कशें आसा न्ही आमी हे सिरीज करतना म्हाका कळून आयलें की बाकीच्या फूल देशान कशें आसता जेन्ना लोड येता लोड शेडिंग डोमेस्टीक हाजेर जाता आनी डोमेस्टीक कनेक्शन्स बंद करता आनी इंडस्ट्रीज तांचे पावर सप्लाय कंटिन्युअस दवरता सो दॅट तांचे प्रोडक्शन युनिट्स आसता म्हणून बट वेरेज इन गोवा इंडस्ट्रीचे पावर सप्लाय कट करता आनी डोमेस्टीक दवरता सो सोलर पॅनल्स किंवा अशे जे सोलर प्लांट्स आसा कॅन दे बी हेल्पफूल इन सच सिच्युएशन्स टू दी इंडस्ट्रीज तांचे कंटिन्युअस
Of course, yes. solar today, to be very frank, I have got figures. 46 megawatts of solar plants have been installed in Goa. Total of 891 numbers installed, out of which 25 megawatts are in industry. So where you produce 25 megawatts of generation in industry, that 25 megawatt power can be rotated for domestic. You can make their life easy. So industry was starving, so they are major, and it is easy for industry to go, because the unit cost for them is 7 rupees, and if they put a solar plant, it is much below 5 rupees. So they are profitable.
Correct.
Understood, no? So that only thing is that आमचे गोंयकारांची एक tendency आसले मातशे 5-10 मिनटां लायट गेले जाल्यार they start cursing. That is not the way. There are states where people struggle for days, and our I'm telling you, to be very frank, governments and Goa election department's machinery is really efficient. Wodल्यान झाड पडून जर लायट गेले in 2 hours it is restored. No other state does that. It's very easy to comment and criticize. You have to accept ground reality. They are efficient, and we should really sell it to them.
तुम्ही प्रश्न विचारला पळय, प्री कोविड द पीक डिमांड फॉर एनर्जी वॉज आफ्टर 6 o'clock in the evening. Post COVID, that peak demand now is coming around the midday. So that is the time peak demand is there, and that is the time where we can generate maximum amount of solar. So solar and peak demand can go hand in hand. So we don't have to install more coal thermal plants which are highly polluting. The whole game plan here is to arrest the use of thermal power and ultimately bring in renewable energy. So renewable energy is being used, solar energy is going to be used by industries at peak demand. So the benefit will go to the industry itself. So there is no point in first of all saying na generation जावचे ना आणि generation is expensive. अरे तुझी फॅक्टरी चलना, फॅक्टरी चलना जाल्यार फॅक्टरी बंद करची पडली ते परस सोलर घाल्यार बरें न्ही. And solar peak demand is in the daytime, so there is anyway you need solar during the peak hours. So industry will flourish, and this
The recurring cost of electricity bills will be nullified. No, that's the biggest.
Your operation cost is zero. एकदा plant घालो, operation cost is zero, because solar is सूर्याचो हे फुकट
आसा. खूप सुंदर, म्हणजे खूप इतली इन्फॉर्मेशन युजफूल आसा. कित्याक म्हाका स्वताक सुद्दां ह्यो गजाली खुबश्यो खबर नाशिल्ल्यो. वी गो बाय द स्टेटमेंट की अरे ते कॉस्टली आसा, इनिशियल हे इन्वेस्टमेंट जमचें ना. सो तुमी ह्या चर्चेंतल्यान आमच्या व्ह्युअर्सांक आनी म्हाका खूप सुंदर म्हायती दिली जी खूप युजफूल जातली, आनी कदाचित ह्या म्हायतींतल्यान खुबशे जाण फुडें सरून सोलर प्लांट्स इन्स्टॉल करतले, आनी मुवींग अवे फ्रॉम दी पोल्युटींग एनर्जी दे वील गो टू दी ग्रीन एनर्जी. हाजी हांव अपेक्षा करता. तुमी आमच्या कार्यावळीन आयले आनी तुमचो वेळ आमकां दिलो, ताका लागून तुमकां देव बरें करूं.
थँक्यू.
आयचें मंथन हांगाच सोंपता. परत मेळुया फुडल्या एपिसोडान. तो मेरेन पळयत रावात प्रुडंट.